What's up guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about C++. What is C++? C++ is a coding language that is used to make visual effects applications. Like for example, Unreal Engine. It's very popular and it's a game engine to make games. Unreal, for example. It's used to make this Unreal Engine. It's used to make a lot of AAA games, and it can make very nice visual effects like, I don't know, like fires, things like that. And it's, by the way, what they used to make the game Fortnite. So as you can see here, they use Unreal Engine to make these post-processing things. Like for example, over here, this was made with Unreal Engine, and this too, and this too. So you can just see that everywhere you see Unreal Engine. Here. And also it's used to make a lot of movies. So we can see that its processing effects are great. So let's look at something else now. So C++, now we know that it's used to make visual effects post-processing applications. And now it's also used to make a lot of games, C++. And with that game engine, Unreal Engine, you can make very efficiently games. But here we're just going to be talking about from scratch C++. No game engine, none of that. So we are going to be using a new software, a new site that is called Replit. You can just search it on Google, and after you will have to put in your email and password and all of that. And after you will find this screen where we will click on Create. And after you will name it something like that. And yeah, so you're going to name the project, but I've already made a project specific for this course that is going to be called C++ for Beginners. So if you don't know how to do that, if you don't know how to do that, then this is how you do it. So you go to Replit, you go to Create. After you go and you look for C++, if you can't find it, just say C++ here in the searching place. After click C++, after make a name like something. Now click on Create REPL. That's what you call it. A project in Replit is called a REPL. But I have already made a project specific for this video, so we just use that project. So let's see. When we start the program, we will see that it will write some code. So delete all of that code like I've done right here, and now let's understand the basics of it. So first I'm going to tell you what to write, and after, when we're done writing, like the beginning, I will start explaining. So say hashtag include, and after you will say IO stream, and after you will say int main boop beep app, and now you will say, okay, now I think we have went far enough. Let's start with line number 1. What do we see? We say hashtag include IO stream. So the hashtag is just a call that we're going to use in include. And in include, if you're familiar with Python, an include is equivalent to import. And by the way, I highly recommend starting from Python and after move to C++, but they'll give you a good start. But this is going to be it's better if you just look directly into C++. So here you see include IOStream. You see that, and after whatever you put in these signs is a library that we're importing, that we're including into our project. So here we're saying that hashtag include IOStream. It's like if we said we are in the house, after we want to buy on online Amazon, like give me IOStream. Let's say IOStream is a box or something, like a book, let's say. Now if we say give me the IOStream, of it's giving it to your house, and that's what it's saying right here. So it's just importing IOStream. Line number 3. It's saying int, so int, let's not worry about it right now. Actually, we will. So int and int main, this is a thing that you have to always have in a project, because this is whatever you put in those curly brackets is whatever is going to be running, whatever is going to be printing on the console, and whatever is going to be calculating, like whatever is going to be happening in your code. That's what's going to be happening, whatever you put in the int main. So after you said int main, so main is a function after you saying to make these parentheses, and we'll learn functions in another lesson, but here we're just learning not fundamentals, the basics. And after, so here we see a int. It will be more it would be more preferred to say return 0, because you have more control when you have like more complicated projects. And we will maybe not talk about this in another lesson. But return 0 is just saying 0. If you get anything else than 0, it means it's wrong. But if you say return 0, it means you have no errors. So if we said, for example, return 1, then if we run the so it says exit status 1. Well, it's possible because it's returning 1, so there's an error. Okay, it's an error. So let's remove return 1, and let's just say return 0. This is not necessary, but it's actually not necessary. But as you can see, we also put a semicolon to declare that the line is finished. And we don't have to put that, so let's just remove this line. And now let's put something else that can be interesting. So you're saying using name space std. Oh, sorry. std. And the reason why you don't and the reason why you don't need to put a semicolon on the include line is because it's like that's how it works. When you have like an include thing, when you're importing something, you just put it no semicolon. And int main, here we put no semicolon because when you have a function, a statement, and all of that, constructor, etc., you don't put that no, because it's a function. It's just how it works. And constructors, statements, all of that, we're going to be learning it in another video. But let's just focus on this. now that we saw this, now before worrying too much about using namespace std, let's write a line of code. So our first line of code is going to be std colon cout, and let's say this boom, semicolons, and we will say hello world, and after we will say std end end line. So semicolon at the end. Okay, so what we have here is that we have with on the std cout. So std is like a country that is taking the information from the book. Like, let's say you're the president, for example, of a country. Let's say America, for example. And after you go to say, for example, you have the book IO stream, right? So after you control that book because you control country, so that means you own that book because you have the power. So after you're saying that, right here, you're saying that STG is the name of the president. Fine, let's just say it like that. Let's say that's the country, that's the name of the president. And after we're saying from the name of the president, we want the cout. So it's like the president taking a specific word from this book IOStream. Let's just imagine it that way. So it's a country with a book. No, it's a president that wants a book, and it's saying from STD, give me that word from that book. So you're saying that from STD, from the president, do that thing. Okay. I hope you understood. And after, for example, let's remove this before we go into this code here. So it works, okay? You see, you can just say cout and all of that. But if you said, let's see what's going to happen now. Okay, error. Use of undeclared identification cout. Did you mean std cout? So they're saying that you cannot say cout. You can only say std cout. But if we put back that line, then you can see if we remove the std, boop, it will work. Hello world. But you might think that if that maybe in using namespace std, you can't use std when you're putting this line of code, but actually you can. It's just giving you the option of not needing to write std, colon, etc. And same thing with this endl. From the president, it wants the word endl from that book and all that. And we can just say boop boop and move. But it's more preferred when you have a lot more complex projects. But std colon, but like this, what president are you calling it from and what country and all of that. So let's just remove this line because we don't need this, and also it's not really preferred when you have a big project. So now that we know this funny business over here, now let's see what does this mean. So this is a output stream. So it's just saying that cout is equivalent to a print in Python. It's equivalent to that. So if you don't know what it is, I'll just show you an example over here. Python print. For example, here. For example, over here you can see print 0, and after you say and equal, all of that. So you're just printing something onto the console. So here we're just saying that we can only use this kind of stream for the cout, only for the cout. I mean, that's the only thing that I was going to be learning here, but maybe, just maybe, in future things that we're going to be learning, we are going to have to use these streams. We don't know. I mean, you don't know. Yeah, we don't know. And so now it's just saying from the cout, transfer to the console. You can see it's like taking information here. It's like you can see here, these signs are very good because you can see that it's like you are taking, like, let's say here, what do you see on the image? You see a big, let's just say it's a UFO, and after you have like a cow over here, and after what do you see with the sign? You see that it's saying it to go there, like down, because we're saying that from the UFO, put back down the cow. But after we're also going to learn in this video the stream with the sin, this side. And this means that, fine, let's not get into that for now. So yeah. So now we know that it's saying that from the cout, just transfer that onto the console, hello world. And after we can do something else. Look, what we can also say this. This works. This works. This works. So it's doing the same thing here. Here, what we're saying on this paragraph here, not this paragraph, here over here, we're just saying after hello world, add a new line. This means that, look, let's run this. It says hello world, and after you see it, there's a new line that was generated. But now if we did, for example, now let's run. You see hello world, and it did not add a new line, so we weren't here. So this means that we did not add a new line. But we could also do it this way. This is the more preferred way, because like when you move to computers, it gets complicated. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, all of that. So it's more preferred to do this, especially when you're working as a team and you're like doing a project, not just saying like show me that code, like I can fix that, fix all that. It would be preferred to do std endo again. STD, the president, all of that. But after you say colon end. So that's the word. So now that we get that, is that when you a new line also. So here we're also making a new line. Endl is making a new line. The same thing if we said using namespace std over here, colon, and after we said remove the std colon, it would still do the same thing. And it would still do the same thing. And here we're saying semicolon to end the line. Before we get to cin, let's talk about variables. Variables are very important, especially in programming. So let's say, for example, let's say, 1 second. So let's say here. So now we have a big whiteboard. And now let's say that on this whiteboard, we have a lot of things, right? Okay, so here we're saying on this whiteboard, so let's now explain what are variables. So a variable here. So here is when we're making the variable. And after we're going to be naming the variable. Let's say food. That's the name of our variable. And after we're going to say, what does food contain? And after we'll say, for example, it contains raw fish. Like, let's say it contains raw, like, for example, it contains raw food, fish, food. Okay, it contains raw food, for example. And after, so here is the part. Here is the part where we're naming our variable, and here's what we're saying: what is it equal to, what is it storing. And after that, now we see that, right? And but each time when we have a variable, we have to define it. Not like define it, we have to give it an attribute. An attribute is like my arm, for example, my arm. It has, what is my arm? It's a body part, right? That's its attribute. It's my body arm. It's a piece of my body. That's the attribute and all of that. So that's what an attribute is. And what are the types of attributes that we can add and that we have to add to a variable? So here are the attributes that we have to add. So we have int, string, we have char, we have float, we have double, in char, no double. I think that's it, yeah. So we have all of these. Number 1, it's int. You see int, right? Int is an attribute that you give to a variable when you're going to say that the variable is equal to an integer, aka a number, a full number, like 2, 3, 4. Not like 4.3 and all of that. That's what the float and doubles are going to do. And after we have string. String is considered as a string is when you're going to be you use string when you're trying to say that your variable is equal to a word or something. But there's one thing, is that string, you have to have more than one letter in the string. A char is when you have one symbol, because like if you have plus, minus, equal, I, F, G, R, H, B, N, M, V, C, X, Z, all of that. That's a char. It's when you have one symbol. When you have one letter, one symbol. And a string is something that has more than one symbol or one letter. No, not really that. It's just that it has more than one character. After you have float. And by the way, if you have a string and you say string equals to H, and after you say cout H, then that's going to just say error, because you can't say that a string is equal to one character. Now let's see what's a float and what's a double. It's actually almost exactly similar. A float is a number that is like 4.3, 9.4, 9.4 million, or something like that. And a double is the same thing. It's 4.5, 6.7, 8.9 million point something, whatever. And a float, so here's the difference, is that a float can contain less decimal numbers than a double. And so it's like a tank. A tank has a lot of armor, but it's very slow. But like a motorcycle, it's very quick, but it's very weak. Like very has low health armor. So a float is when you use like it has a limit of, it's not as precise as double, because a float can use a certain amount of decimal numbers. So it has a limit of of decimal numbers that it can store. And double uses more memory, but it's a lot more precise. And it can store a lot more. But not like int, string, and char. Not like the string and char. Float and double, they actually string, floats, double, and int. Like, for example, if you had an int and you said 4.5, they will say error, right? Okay, they will say error. Now, if you say print that and all of that. But if you said, for example, float, and said that you give a name to that to the variable that has the float attribute, and say hello. Let's say hello equals 4. That will work. Same thing with the double, but not like the string. It has a string and the char. They have very, very strict rules. So we saw that. Now let's see how do we make. So let's quickly write some code over here. Okay, so here we're going to say, for example, we're going to say, no, by the way, if we remove using namespace std, we can say int hello equals 45, works. But if we said string, like if we said hello equals to nice, after we'll say that hello is let's give it an attribute, let's say string. We can't say string, except we'll say error. And the reason why they're saying error is because string is considered code as a complex. It's considered as a complex and very complex thing and important thing. So not important, but it's a very complex thing. That's why using the std. Okay, so we know that now. And same, but by the way, it's not the same thing with the rest. It's that you only have to put that with string, with the string attribute. Okay, we said that. But now what if we said hello here, okay? Let's try to say this. Let's say hello. Now we said std colon string, we gave that attribute. I'm going to say hello, so we gave the string attribute to hello, and I'm going to say it equals to nice. And you have to put these double quotes. And by the way, when you have like a char, a character, you have to put single quotes. Okay, so you have to put single quotes. Okay, so now that we did this, let's just say again, nice and all that. Now we said std out hello. Let's now run. Oh, and by the way, I had forgotten one type of variable. Attribute is bool, if I can spell it. Okay, bool. Bool is very different from the others. Bool, it can this attribute that you do to something, and it means that the thing can only be equal to true or false. Okay, and not like in Python where it's capital letters. In C++, the first letter of the true or false is a lowercase letter. Always. Now, okay, we saw that. Now let's, and by the way, it's the same thing with the rest. You don't have to put std with bool, except string. So now we said std colon cout hello, all that. Now let's say run. Now it's saying nice, because we're saying here that print out onto the console, output onto the console, hello, and hello is equal to nice. So we're saying that print out to the console nice, because hello is equal to nice, and here we're saying hello. After we say colon, and let's see the end to make a new line. Okay, we did that now. And now let's talk about sin. So again, std concurrent sin, same rules with the cout. You same thing with the using namespace std, and that it has the same rules with the std with the namespace using namespace std and the cout. So we're just going to copy the code. Not copy the code. Let's just say this. We want to swap these for a very good reason. I mean, it has nothing to do with the code. It's just that we want to do something specific. So let's just say this. It's not a problem of code if we didn't do that. It's just that we want to do that because we're trying to do something specific. So here we're saying, let's say hello. Nothing. Hello. So unlike in Python, I think so. Unlike in Python, you can't say like, oh, okay, we'll make a string, or we'll use the string attribute on the, and we'll call the variable hello. And after we have to name it. Not unlike Python. I mean, I don't think so. No, you can't do that. Unlike in Python, in C++, you can just say, I said it's a string, just finish the line with the semicolon. So when you put a semicolon, it's just saying that that you're finishing the line. You're done. It's not making a new line. It's just saying, okay, code read this. That means that when you finish, when you see that semicolon, that means that you finish one paragraph of the code. That's when you're saying execute this. That means you're done and you want to execute. So here we're saying std string hello. Now we're not giving it any value. We're just saying that it's a string. And after we're saying std colon cin, and after we will say, for example, hello. Okay. And not like in cout. In cin, you can't say greater signs std endl. That is not possible. And the reason why we put greater signs is because, again, with the idea of the UFO thing, boop and this. So the difference is that here we're taking, like, let's say the UFO and the UFO, and here's like the person, and here's the, let's say person. Okay. Okay, now let's say that's the person. So now we're saying that here we're saying from the output of this guy, you want to print. So this is, yeah, let's say. Now we're saying we want to print this guy onto the console. And here we're saying with the cin, this is pink is cin, and here's cin. So now it's different because here it's saying whatever you type in, whatever you. So here's cin, you're saying sin, you're making a new sin. Like yeah, not like yeah, but it's like the way you do it the same way as yeah. After saying sin, greater signs hello, and here we're saying that type whatever hello should equal to. So here we're saying that sin is whatever you're going to be typing in. It's like an input, like in Python. So you're going to write a input. Now after we saying from the information and the data from that input it onto the hello. And the last thing that we did is that we said std colon cout less than signs hello less than signs std colon end. Okay, this should be pretty straightforward. He said now we said that you std colon so now we're saying just print the value of hello. So here we're saying that hello exists. We made hello, we didn't say what it equals to, but we gave it also an attribute. And after we're saying std colon sin, and after we're saying that from the input of sin, it's going to give the information to hello, that means that we're assigning whatever hello is equal to. And after we're saying std colon cout less than side hello less than side std colon end. So here we're saying that first we're saying we made hello, then we're saying we're assigning the variable, we're assigning the value of hello with the attribute, and after we're saying print out what we said it was. What the value of hello. That means that what if we typed in this cin, it's going to give that information into hello, and after we say print out hello, that means it's going to print out whatever we're going to so if you will understand it better when I'm going to do it. So here they're saying nothing, but as you can see, we just said make an input. Okay, now let's write friend. Okay, and after we're going to say enter. We're saying friend because we're saying that whatever we're going to write in that sin, like we call it sin, but also you can say cin. After we're saying whatever data that you put in there, you're going to put it in the variable hello. And after we say print out hello, and that's whatever we assigned in this input to hello, and after it's going to print whatever we assigned into hello. But if we did this, for example, my name is hello. Guess what's going to happen? You think that it's going to say my name is hello, but actually whatever is going to happen is might surprise you. Okay, I'll click enter. My. The reason why it put my is because cin, when we put a value in the cin, when we're inputting a value, and after we're putting spaces and all of that. So whenever we put when we're trying to assign a input to cin into another variable or something, when we're trying to inputting something in cin, whenever you put a space, it thinks that it's the end of what you're trying to declare. It's the end of the not function. It's the end of the cin. It thinks that it's the end. Okay, you finished it. It's the end. And after it's only going to print my out because we made a space from my name, so it's not even going to continue this. The way we can fix this error is by going to in here. So all of this code, we don't need it. You can just say get, oh, sorry, no, get line, that, after we're going to say std, colon, cin, after we're going to say comma, hello. Same thing from the book, more like from the page. Let's see that the function is a page. So from the function or the page, get line, the president that's named STE wants it, so we're calling it, not to be like giving approval or something. And after we're saying STDCN, we're saying what do we want to use. And after we go, this is the, I think that this is the only reason why I'm going to use it in the our future videos. In our future lessons, but I'm not certain. And after we're saying what is the thing that I want to put the information into, the data into, that's going to be hello. Now, if we said like using namespace, when you using namespace std, by the way, in the future we will learn of how to make our own namespaces. So like using namespace std, we're saying that you don't have to put std colon, but you can. Same thing with get line. Let's say, for example, type. So go to write type. We don't have to put a space, but so it's like, and look, if we said, for example, my name is Ehsan. Would put my name is. So I hope that you understand what the basics of C++, and yes, have a good day. Bye.